Hello everyone, we're doing lines 52 to 73 today. At etiam sunt quidicant quidites amea ectum esse Catilinam. At etiam, but still, sunt there are qui, those people, decant is generic subjunctive, so those people who are the kind to say, quirites, O Roman citizens, this is our indirect statement beginning now, that Catiline has been ejected or cast out, ame, by me is your ablative agent. Quod, connecting relative, ego si verbo ad sequi possem, istos ipsos aiecerem qui haec locuntur. So, if, so beginning with C, if possem I were able, ad sequi to pursue, quod that matter, so the casting out of Catiline, verbo with a word, aiecerem, I should cast out istos ipsos, those very men who qui haec locuntur, who are saying haec these things. Homo enim videlicet timidus, aut etiam per modestus vocem consulis ferre non potuit. Simulatque, actually I'll pause there. So, for videlicet, of course, homo timidus, the shy man, out either the shy man, or the book, I'm just looking at the book's notes, they say we should translate homo as fellow, which I think is fair. The shy fellow, or even the oversensitive fellow, could not, potuit, could not ferre bear vocem, the voice of the consul. So for, of course, the shy fellow, or even the overly modest, or overly sensitive, rather, fellow, could not bear the voice of the consul. Simulatque ire in exilium iussus est parvit. As soon as iussus est, he was ordered ire, to go in exilium, into exile, parvit, he obeyed. Quin hesterno die, in fact, yesterday, cum domi mei paene interfectus essem, senatum in aedem iovis statoris convocavi, rem omnem ad patres conscriptos deturi. So when interfectus essem, so when, passive and subjunctive there, so when I had paene nearly been killed, domi mei, at my own house, note the locative of domi there, convocavi, I called together, senatum, the senate, in aedem, in the temple, so it's also the word for a house in the plural, but here it's the temple, Iovis statoris, of Jupiter stator, rem omnem ad patres conscriptus detuli. Detuli, I reported, rem omnem, the entirety of the affair, to the senators, literally the conscript fathers. Well, let's call them the conscript fathers. To the conscript fathers, so the men whose names have been written in the senatorial ledger. Quo cum Catilina venisset, quis eum senator appellavit, quis salutavit, quis denique ita spexit ut perditum, quivem ac non potius ut importunissimum hostem, quin etiam principes eius ordinis partem illam subseliorum, ad quam ille accesserat nudam atque ananem reliquerunt. So when, cum Catilina, when Catiline, when he said, had arrived, quo, at this place, quis eum senator appellavit, which senator appellavit called eum, called that man, we might say spoke to him instead. I say so called out to him in greeting, I guess, is what appellavit here means. So which senator spoke to that man, which senator greeted him, quistenique, and at last which senator regarded him, so aspexit, regarded him ita in such a way, so this is our result clause, that that he seemed either a ruined citizen, perditum quem, and ac non potius, and rather not, ut, here is as a monstrous, importunissimum, a monstrous, I suppose is the superlative element there, a monstrous enemy. Okay, so once more, and finally, who regarded him in such a way that he seemed a ruined citizen, and not rather as a monstrous enemy. Quin etiam principes eos ordinis parte Milan subsediorum ad quam lea cessera nuram atque inanem redequerunt. In actual fact, so quin etiam, in actual fact, principes, the leaders, eos ordinis of that class, okay, so of the Senate, relinquerunt, left behind, ilam partem, that part, subsediorum of the benches, ad quam ille accesarat, at which he had, or to which he had, that man had approached, nudam atque inanem, bare and empty. Okay, so in actual fact, the leaders of that class left bare and empty that section of the benches that that man had approached. Okay, lines 63 to 73. Hic ego vehemens ille consul qui verbo cives in exilium eicio. So this, so hic here, ego, I am that violent consul. Okay, so that notorious bully, I think the book suggests that notorious bully, qui verbo cives, who with a word, eicio, casts out citizens in exilium into exile. Quae Silvia Catiline nocturno conventu ad Marcum laicam fuiset necne. So note necne here at the end is what gives us the question whether or not, without any preceding word. Okay, so we do need to look out for those at the end of sentences every now and then. So I have sought Catiline from Catiline, necne, whether, fuiset, he had been, ad Marcum laicam, at the house of Marcus Laicus, in nocturno convento, at in a nighttime meeting or not. Cum ille homo adacissimus conscientia convictus primo reticuisset, patefeci cetera. So when ille, that audacissimus, most brazen homo man, convictus, overcome or overwhelmed, conscientia, by the knowledge, by my knowledge of his guilt, or by knowledge of his guilt, I suppose, reticuisset, had remained silent primo, at the beginning, patefeci cetera, I revealed the rest. Quid ea nocte egisset, ubi fuisset, quid in proximam constituisset, quem ad modum esset ei ratio totius belli descripta, e docui. So e docui here is key. This gives us reason for the indirect questions that precede it. So e docui, I explained, I suppose. I explained quid ea nocte egisset, what he had done, ea nocte, on that night, qui ubi fuisset, where he had been, quid in proximam constituisset, what constituisset he had planned in proximam, for the next, and we have to supply noctem for the next night, quem ad modum, how esset a ratio totius belli descripta, how the plan, ratio is our subject there, but the plan totius belli of that, of the whole war, descripta, had been designed, eset is the rest of that verb. Note how the two parts have been split. So had been designed. A is our dative agent, which we get with the passive in this instance. So had been designed by that man. Cum haesitaret, cum teneretur, quaesui quid dubitaret, proficisci eo quo iam pridem pararet, cum arma, cum secures, cum fascis, cum tubas, cum signa militaria, cum aquilam ilam argenteam, cui ille etiam sacrarium domis suae fecerat, scirem esse praemissimam. So sorry about that bell. When he hesitated, so cum haesitaret, when he hesitated, when teneretur, when he was held, so when he was trapped, I sought, quaesui I sought, quid dubitaret, so what he doubted to set out, so really why he doubted, or even we could say hesitated here to set out. To that place, quo, which pararet he was preparing to do for already, and Freedom gives us for a long time. For a long time, and of course the note in the book noting that Jan Freedom suggests that this has been going on for a while, which kind of furthers our sense of Cicero's knowledge. Cum arma. And we might... so cum arma, note that here cum is going with the subjunctive scirem down the bottom, and it's not arma and secures fascis are all accusative. Okay, so we're not looking at a ablative of accompaniment here. So or means or instrument or anything like that. So it's so since given to us by the first cum, since I knew his arms, his secures are axes, his fasces, his rods. So note that the fasces were the sign of power in Rome, I suppose. His tubas, his trumpets, signa militaria, his military standards, and that argenteam, silver aquilam, eagle, to which ille, that man, fecerat, had made, etiam, had even made, sacrarium, a shrine, domi suae, in his own home, esse primissimam, had all been sent ahead. In exilium eieciebam, quem iam ingressum esse in bellum videram. Now he asks us a question. Did I throw into exile a man whom videram, I had jam already seen, ingressum esse, had entered, I suppose, in bellum, into war. Thank you very much.